So I'm always heavily medicated, and like uh, when I'm on this medication, at the one I'm taking at that time is called Ritalin. It's making me get very skinny, very quiet, very socially awkward, and I've noticed it's harder to make friends because I'm always quiet, don't really want to play with anybody. I'm not good at any sports, not good at any sports at all, and I get put into martial arts at age 7. It's a striking art. And for the first 2 years, I completely suck. I'm just like a walking punching bag. And then I remember one day, as I turned 9, I remember one of the coaches, one of the instructors, he was making fun of me, saying that this other kid in there was gonna like beat me up. He's gonna beat you up. He like taunting. He was a young instructor, probably like 21. I was like 9. So that day, something in me snapped, and I was able to actually stand up for myself, start fighting back. But I encountered another issue that I still have somewhat to this day. I I wouldn't know how to hold back, so I would go all out, and I'd end up hurting whoever I was training with. So they stopped putting me with other children, and they'd start making me spar teenagers. Now the teenagers, you'd think like, okay, he's still a little kid. He's only 9 years old, almost 10. Let's take it easy on him. No, they would go all out on me, hit me in the face, try to make me cry. I mean, granted, I'd do the same thing to them. I would not hold back at all. So this was the time that I felt like I was getting good at something. Like I didn't get the praise that the other kids would, like what you would call the Chads, the Tyrones in school. I would not get the praise that they would. But I would get somewhat respect for that and the striking and the knockout power I would have for such a young age and at such a young kid. So one thing I started to notice, kids my own age and like older kids would not like me or would not want to talk to me. So I felt even lonelier. But I noticed this, and we're gonna come back to this as well. I noticed I'd be able to befriend old people. I'd be able to befriend old people very easily. Like I felt like I was more mature compared to the other children, more intelligent, into other things, like I said, archaeology, fantasy, big graphic novels and history and all that. And the kids, they just wanted to play soccer, mess around. So I'd be able to sit down and have conversations with these adults, these elderly people. I think this is one of the reasons I can relate to boomers a lot. And that's why I said I get told, you're in your 20s. No, you're in your 30s. You look like you're in your 20s. You act like you're in your 50s. You think like you're in your 60s. And you feel like you're in your 70s. That's probably where that came from. But over the years, we're going to come back to this, but I'm going to drop this in right now. I've noticed throughout my life, old people, animals, and children always gravitate towards me. They love me. They don't see me as trash. They see me as, a good person, something like that. And I'd be able to help these people out, befriend the elderly, be a role model for children, teach them something, martial arts wise or educational wise. And animals seem to love me and like wanted me to pet them and come towards me at all. And I remember I have a friend, he's no longer alive. He passed over the summer. He's a little older than me. He had a lot of these same issues, and he was told, and he told me, if like children, animals, and old people love you, and they like you a lot, they like being around you, then society and women will always disrespect, like look down on you. They'll never respect you. And I noticed that to be true, but I personally don't care about that. If I can be a good role model towards a child, I will always go out of my way to help the elderly, our elders. And I love animals and nature. So, as I'm going through school, I'm about to be in 4th grade. I befriend this old lady, and she would give me these Roman coins. And I would read these books about Greek mythology and Greek history. And she told me about the Romans. I didn't know about them. I preferred the Greeks, but I grew to love the Romans as well. And she ended up giving me these older coins, and I would just clean them. I'd use toothpaste and other stuff, and I'd bring them some shine. And I really did appreciate that. And around 9 years old, I noticed a lot of the boys would already be getting attracted to, like females, to girls. And I would kind of get made fun of because I wasn't yet. Since I had the ADD and ADHD, we develop a little bit slower in some certain things. Like, I did not think girls were pretty, until I was 12 years old, but still I didn't pursue them or anything. Like, the other guys had already started by 9 or 10, that young. I know, it's pretty crazy. So we start noticing probably once I get to 5th grade, I'm a lot bigger than the other kids. Like, I'm a lot, like from the martial arts training, I have more muscle development than them. I'm a lot taller than them. And I notice I can actually intimidate and scare a lot of other kids. And that's kind of conflicting with my mind at the time. But we put it aside. The teachers always considered us a very sweet child. And later on, we go to middle school. In the middle school, I made a couple friends. There's this one guy I'm friends with named A. He's helped me through some hard times. He's a former Jehovah's Witness. We always have interesting talks. And we're still friends to this day. And another couple of people I met, but this school was full of rejects. Full of rejects. And everybody there seemed to have problems or come from broken homes or just like have learning disabilities. And my parents put me there thinking I'd be able to do well. But it was a shitty, trashy school. We're going to talk more about that. I'm trying to keep everything like brief but summarized and like get as much covered as I can so I can like give it to y'all. But another thing I noticed and I mentioned earlier before, I would be, as I did start trying to talk to chicks, like I have my first girlfriend till I was 13. I didn't lose my V card till I was like 14. Yeah, 14. I wouldn't be able to attract the woman and the chicks in my community. They would see me as ugly. They'd see me as like too dumb, and they'd call me a lame, an educated lame, all that stuff. So I'd be like a reject in my own community. They're like all the stuff the other Latino boys would be into. I wouldn't be into it unless it was Dragon Ball Z, of course. But all the other stuff that they were into, I just saw less stupid, like stuff like SPM. Shit like that, like excessive rap and narco music, banda, all that bullshit. I did not like that at all. What I liked was like weird things, horror, alternative music. That's what drew me in. That's what I liked. I think a lot has to do with it because of my birthday. My birthday is never, I'm not, well, I don't care, I'll just say it. My birthday's on a holiday. It's November 2nd. It's called Day of the Dead. So I started, I noticed chicks in other communities would like me physically. I remember my other videos that I noticed. So my very first, the first girlfriend I guess I had, like at that time that I could hang out with at school. I still run into her every now and then. She doesn't look like she's doing too good, but she's got a lot of issues. She was like a little goth chick. But then after her, the first long-term serious girlfriend I had after her, she was a mestiza. She came from an abusive household. She was adopted, and she was a hoe. She was like into a lot of that, what y'all call 304 behavioral stuff. And she really brought me out of my shell. I learned a lot from her. Even though it was a shitty relationship, we dated from like 14 to 21 on and off. And then we tried it one last time at 27. I can get back to you on that later on. But like, very trashy relationship. She's a, still a pretty chick. She's got 3 kids, from 3 different guys. And I'm a single parent myself, I can't, talk shit. But we're going to come back to part 3 in a bit.